imagining it, job hunting is getting worse.
There was a time, not too long ago, when employers were in such a rush to hire workers that they were doing anything they could to make it easier for people to apply. That time has passed. It's frustrating and tiring. Job hunting has never been this hard. Part of the difficulty stems from a tightening labor market, especially in fields like tech that have had hundreds of thousands of layoffs in the last 9 months. There is now, on average, one job opening for every 2 applicants on LinkedIn, a big change from early 2022, when there was one job opening per applicant on average. But it's not just the economy causing companies to change their hiring processes in ways that make them take longer. The pandemic increased the use of one-way video interviews, in which applicants are asked to record a video of themselves answering a list of preset questions, because interviews couldn't be done in person. But the proliferation of these interviews just gives companies a lot more content to sort through. Meanwhile, as companies prioritize equity, they're getting more people involved in the hiring process, inviting upper-level managers and the peers of a would-be colleague to weigh in, which adds time. Companies who laid off human resources staff are now delegating interviewing and hiring to line managers who aren't familiar with the process. None of this means employers are getting better candidates, but it has lengthened the time it takes to hire. The amount of time it takes to hire a new employee reached an all-time high of 44 days in early 2023. Make no mistake, the hiring market is not going to get easier anytime soon. Many job seekers told me that they'd been targeted by scams in which supposed hirers offered them an appealing-sounding job and even set up Zoom calls and interviews, but turned out to be people posing as recruiters looking for candidates' personal information and job accounts. Even legitimate companies are posting ghost jobs that they don't actually ever fill. Employers post ghost jobs to get a pool of candidates that they may use someday, to give the impression that their company is growing, and to keep current employees motivated. The miserable job market appears to be worse for people with a college degree, according to it found that 51% of job seekers with bachelor's degrees who had at least one interview completed the interview process without receiving an offer, compared to 35% with at most a high school diploma. Those with a bachelor's degree were also more likely than those with a high school diploma to be asked to complete a job skills assessment, to be asked to do a one-way interview in which they record themselves answering preset questions, and to report inconsistencies between the job requirements and salary range listed in the posting versus what they were told later on in the interview process. Candidates frustrated with the rigmarole are applying to more positions, creating a vicious cycle in which the job market is even more saturated with applications and employers turn to software to sort through these applications that lengthens the process even more. Job seekers are sending out 40% more applications than they did last year at this time, according to Rand Guyad, head of economics and global labor markets at LinkedIn. Workers are losing some of the bargaining power they had over the last few years, he says. The balance of power is drifting back to employers. Part of this changing balance of power is related to uncertainty in the economy. Hiring managers and human resources personnel may think that they have the budget to hire 1 week and then find out, after they've posted the job and even conducted interviews, that the company has changed its mind. The barriers in the interview process may explain why more people seeking employment are turning to freelancing and part-time jobs. Perhaps they are trying to avoid wasting their time jumping through companies' hoops when they aren't likely to get a job.